The city of Salamdesis, which was controlled by King Phineus, was empty and rotting when the Argonauts arrived, and there was a foul odor in the air due to the abundance of bird droppings that had been dispersed around the city. The heroes sought for the monarch atop the city's Acropolis, as he was a brilliant seer and could have knowledge that was essential to the Argonauts' expedition's success. Since Zetes and Calais were Phineus's in-laws, they were aware that he would never desert his realm. Phineus was seated at a dining table within the demolished palace, among the squalor. The monarch appeared to be a mere shadow of the man he once was, since he was so skinny. Phineus explained to the Argonauts that he had formerly been a well-respected sorcerer who had relied on the gods' favor and attended the feasts of Olympus frequently, because the gods valued his company and had invited him. However, he would pick up on some of the gods' plans during these feasts, listening in on some discussions, and get access to confidential information. He would occasionally inform some individuals of the gods' plans, so they might take appropriate action. Zeus, however, learned what Phineus was up to, and brutally punished him for exploiting the gods' trust. His sight was lost first. Living in the dark wasn't bad enough. Phineus and his kingdom also had to deal with the filthy and revolting Harpies. Every day, Phineus received a banquet, but just as he was about to start eating, the Harpies showed up and made a lot of noise. They threw their trash all over the table while eating the king's meal. To stay alive, Phineus could only consume the barest minimum. Phineus assured the Argonauts that if they helped him get rid of the Harpies, the king would reveal to them a secret important to the completion of his quest. In agreement, the Argonauts went into hiding as they awaited the Harpies. The Harpies showed up when the feast of Phineus arrived, but the Argonauts quickly drove them away. The heroes managed to capture one of them, but the other two tried to flee. However, Zetes and Calais, the two winged brothers, flew after the animals, abusing their sister's spouse. Both brothers engaged the Harpies in an air combat. The three Harpies were eventually subjugated and about to be put to death, but the miraculous intervention of the goddess Iris saved them, as she was their sister and would not let them perish. The Harpies left with the assurance that they would not bother poor Phineus ever again. In return, Phineus showed the Argonauts a perilous challenge they would need to conquer if they truly intended to complete their goal. Their biggest concern was that the tunnel would close as soon as they learned that any living thing was between its walls, as was the case with the Symplegades, two enormous rock walls that created a short and narrow corridor. Jason released a dove as instructed by Phineus, allowing it to pass through the Symplegades. The bird was able to traverse the corridor before the walls closed to avoid being crushed. The Argonauts sped up their vessel towards the tunnel as the walls started to open. The walls quickly moved back to their original place and started to shut. To the relief of its legendary crew, the ship Argo pierced the rocks at the last second. Jason and the Argonauts were getting closer to their destination, but they still had to deal with many obstacles.